In this mysterious world, Carl eagerly shows Maya info about suspect Charles, like a treasure map, seeking clues to Philip's truth. Surprisingly, Maya ignites a lead. Maya sees the women's sanatorium where Charles worked, mysteriously telling Carl that after it closed, it was like opening Pandora's box, with lawsuits flooding in. Philip was the defense lawyer in the case, but details of whom he defended have vanished over time. At least, Carl and others can confirm that. Philip's death is definitely tied to that women's sanatorium. Back at the precinct, Russo informs Carl like a superhero, revealing they have confirmed the identity of the final mentor. This ghostly memory named Rita sends chills down the spine. Russo, stammering, says he has searched through all records, like a treasure hunter, but found nothing related to the sanatorium. So Russo believes that Maya may have misremembered. But is this indeed merely an insignificant straw on the head of the male-dominated society? Even women can't just change their hats. My dad once vowed, "Son, being happy is the most important, otherwise life will bring tears to your eyes." Just as Russo was about to leave, he suddenly exclaimed, like discovering a new continent, that Charles has an address in Spain and a bank account. He's practically a spy. What's more shocking, the account pays a body storage fee every 6 months. Carl surmises Charles, after killing 3, hid bodies in walls like in a play, then fled to Spain. Finally, he pretended to be Philip and sent his wife a bizarre email. If true, Charles' motive for murder leaps like a high-flying stunt. To uncover the truth behind the case, Carl and the team need to find a mixer that connects Charles to all the victims. As night falls, Russo calls to say Spanish police arrived at Charles but found no one, like a dream. The bank account was quietly cancelled, and Carl realizes that Charles must know like a cat that the police are after. Time travel has arrived, and on the next day, Russo and his assistant finally track down the link between Charles and 2 of the corpses, which is none other than the legendary women's sanatorium. Clearly, they discovered that the deceased, Neat and Rita, were loyal fans of the sanatorium, and Charles was. However, they still don't know about Charles and Philip's relationship, so the 3 bravely step into the sanatorium ruins on a rusty island. Meanwhile, they find a chunky guy from the sanatorium, who leads Carl and others to the secret base growing angel trumpets. The chunky guy says girls on the island used angel trumpets as a high due to its marijuana-like effects. It's like playing coy with the people. Then, the chunky guy rambles on in the sanatorium, telling Carl and the others about its glorious history, claiming to be a sanatorium, but in reality resembling a hell on earth. Girls were imprisoned like prisoners, doctors like guards holding liberal young women. Weirder, they committed no crimes but endured endless torment. It was founded by the local government. After hearing the fat guy's story, Carl and others found it incredibly horrifying, a hell on earth. Until the sanatorium closed, the local government never apologized to harm girls, as it threatened their interests. The chunky guy continued. After the sanatorium closed, complaints flooded in, but were ruthlessly dismissed by judges before going public. This is why Carl and the others couldn't find any records about the sanatorium in the precinct's database. Therefore, Carl and his assistant decided to unite again and headed to the National Archives, hunting for clues like predators. Soon, Carl discovered in the records that the female victim had accused a doctor named Kurt, and at that time, Kurt's defense attorney was none other than Philip, one of the 3 corpses. The well-crafted documentation shows that the judge deemed the evidence insufficient. Therefore, the girl's accusation could not reach the court. Strangely, the documents completely omitted the name of the accusing girl, a true nameless tragedy. Though Carl and the others obtained a glimmer of a clue, its value was as insignificant as a mere copper coin unless they find the Dr. Kurt. When they returned, the chief told Carl, insane, Charles, the sole suspect, had vanished. Europe seemed a silent night. The chief doubted if Charles was alive. Carl believes he's playing the chameleon. They have already linked Charles to the 3 corpses through Dr. Kurt. Whether or not Charles is the killer, he is undoubtedly related to the case. However, the chief was astonished by Dr. Kurt's name, like a beacon in the dark, saying he knows him who runs a center somewhere. He's Denmark's authority on infertility treatments. The chief's wife fulfilled her parenting dream with his help. It's truly twist-filled. The doctor accused of forcibly sterilizing women and is now a star expert in infertility. After understanding the situation, Carl and his assistant immediately sought out Dr. Kurt, but Kurt, as if under a spell, said he only remembered being intimately close to 2 female victims and Charles. As for anything else, he had forgotten. After all, he hadn't seen Charles in 30 years and didn't even know why Charles would kill the 3 victims. After querying, Carl got no useful info, truly worthless gold. Then he asked Kurt about the allegations, but Kurt countered, claiming it was all one-sided, insisting it was legal then to sterilize such women forcibly. He merely performed abortion surgeries for some women. The assistant asked Kurt if he remembered the name of the woman who accused him, but Kurt replied it was too long ago, and he had forgotten, while Carl doubted how Kurt could remember the victim's close relationship with Charles, but not that seems too contradictory. But facing Carl's doubts, Kurt showed no particular response and turned. However, Carl and his assistant knew Dr. Kurt was lying. He must have some unspeakable secret, so they sought the chunky guy again. Recently, the chunky guy phoned Russo, saying he had a vital clue but needed to reveal it in person, prompting them to seek him again. The chunky guy told Carl he worked part-time at the sanatorium, as his aunt was forcibly sterilized there. Aunt chose suicide over infertility. The surgeon was Dr. Kurt. Truly fate. After his aunt died, the fat man repeatedly complained to Danish Scott, all in vain. Upon learning Carl's team was investigating Dr. Kurt,